So we've been talking a lot about Jackson on this channel recently, and I thought I would change it up a little bit and talk about a little Ibanez. This one, as a matter of fact. So I hope that joke wasn't too corny for you guys. I've shot that intro a couple times trying to get that joke just right. So I love you guys, and if you hate the joke, oh well, I guess. But hey, my name's Jonathan. Welcome to the Electric Flamingo channel. If this is your first time around, if it is, please make sure you click that subscribe button, click the bell, click the like button, all that kind of stuff. Check links in the description. I'm gonna have a couple links down there for some things that I'm gonna mention in this video, as well as links to my Teespring store if you wanna go and support the channel by buying some merch, so I can keep on buying silly things like this and making videos for you guys, because it's one of my favorite things to do. So, I got this Gio Mikro from my good friend Brad over at Hot Frog Music. I'm gonna leave a link to his store down in the description. I took my RR3 in to get it touched up, the wing where it was broken. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I made a couple videos about it. I'll leave a link to one of them up there in the cards. And he's moving shop right now, so we're holding off on the repair, but that's totally fine. But I saw this on the wall and I was like, hey, that's cool. So I bought it. So thanks Brad so much for the hookup. Really, really appreciate it. Let's talk about it some more. So these things are really cool if you are a kid looking to get into playing guitar, or you're a parent looking to get a kid a guitar, or you just want something that's small for travel, or just something that's just really cool to have. Now don't be fooled by this small stature here of this thing, because this thing is an absolute shred machine. Ibanez headstock here. You have sealed tuners on the back, 2 string trees, plastic nut, maple neck, maple fretboard, like a 15-inch radius, something like that. Dot inlays on this one with the maple fretboard, which I prefer, and I prefer that with like colors like this. They have like black and white and stuff with a rosewood board or whatever wood they're using at the time, with the shark tooth inlays, which look cool, but I tend to prefer the look of maple more. So I think they've changed the type of woods that they use for the body. It's either poplar or basswood. Doesn't really matter tone-wise. Weight-wise, it's not super heavy, but I mean, it is a pretty thick body. It is a smaller body compared to what a normal RG would be. It's got 2 humbuckers. These are the Infinity R pickups. It's got 1 volume, 1 tone, 3-way switch here, bridge, 6 individual saddles, and a 3-ply pick guard. This is a really, really cool guitar. And for $169 brand new, you can't go wrong with it. The scale length of this thing is 22.2 inches, so that means from the nut to the bridge here, it is 22 inches. You'll definitely notice a difference in playing if you're used to playing like full scale guitars, 25.5 or 24.75 inches, so like Gibson, Fender scale length, stuff like that. My recommendation is to put higher gauge strings, so put 11s on this, maybe 10s. I would probably stay away from 9s unless you plan on tuning up higher than E standard. Which is what a lot of people tend to do with these. But if you want to play in like half step, drop C, things like that, definitely up the string gauge. That's the best advice that I can give you for tuning stability. But there is one thing about these that seems to plague every one of these guitars, at least the ones that I've played. And I've picked up quite a number of these things over the years. And that has to do with the frets. Specifically, a number of high frets and deadly sharp fret ends. And that's kind of really what I wanted to talk about with these, because overall, these things are fantastic. They sound good, they're comfortable to play, they set up great, you know, the truss rods work, you can intonate them, set up the action, all that stuff. But these frets, man, Ibanez, you gotta maybe take a little more time in getting these frets where they're literally not gonna harm people. Because you hear a lot about people saying, well, you know, the fret ends will cut you and all that kind of stuff. Typically, it's not that bad. With just about every one of these Gio Mikros that I've ever picked up to try, the fret ends are, I mean, they're sharp. It's like someone taped razor blades to this thing on the end, and they will literally cut you. This one was no exception. I've managed to touch it up quite a bit. It's a night and day difference. Just with some emery board, you know, some real basic, like not professional grade filing at all. But it definitely has touched up the ends here. This one was pretty bad, but it's passable for now. It's still pretty rough, but like I said, it's playable. As far as a couple of high frets, it's not horrible, like where you couldn't play it, but there is definitely some buzzing, like right in here. I don't know if you can hear that. You get that kind of banjo-y effect. Nothing that a little fret dressing can't help, but just if you buy one of these, new, used, old model, new model, whatever, just be aware that the frets are probably gonna be your biggest problem. So kind of in conclusion here, if you're looking for a guitar that's suited for a child learning how to play, or maybe you would just want a short scale guitar, or maybe you want something that's suited well for travel, and you don't necessarily prefer the sound of single coils, or you want something more geared toward rock, metal, things like that, something with humbuckers, say, definitely something you should take a look at, bearing in mind that you're probably going to have to deal with some fret issues. Now, will every single one of them have these fret issues? Probably not. You're probably going to find a gem in the rough out there somewhere, but like I said, you're probably going to have to go through a lot of stones before you find that diamond. Overall, I think I can give these like a solid 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, comfortability, they play well, they sound great. You know, you don't have to change the electronics, whatever. You can set them up. Just be aware of that fret issue, and you should be fine. So there you go, guys. There is my Ibanez Gio Mikro. Again, if you're not subscribed, please make sure you click that subscribe button, hit the like, hit the bell notification. Until next time, guys, I'll catch you around later.